Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba podcast. This is episode 101. It's a pleasure to record tonight on the Inquisitive Mamba podcast. We have Deven Thompkins, a very dear friend of mine, a special guest. Deven Thompkins is a wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Deven, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
Absolutely, man. So I want everyone to get a chance to know you and just, kind of take it from there.
Where you want to start at? I'm from Fort Myers, Florida. Originally grew up there. I have two kids, Naomi and Messiah. Those are my two babies, one girl, one boy. There's a lot more to me. I play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I love playing football more than anything else in this world, and I just want to be a great human being, out here in this world. So.
Absolutely, man. It's like I said, it's a pleasure to have you on. But
Thank you.
Before you were on the Buccaneers, your college career, you were at Utah State. So talk a little bit about your time at Utah State, and then take it from there.
I was out there for 4 years, and I had a wonderful time out there in Utah State. Honestly, it was a great time. I got to learn myself a lot just because there isn't much around there. And then, coming from Fort Myers and stuff, there's so much to do out there. It allowed me to just really hone in on what I want to be in life. If I really wanted to go to the NFL and how I was going to make that happen. So I'm forever grateful for Utah more than anything.
So during your time at Utah State, the COVID season, kind of talk about that, the highs, the lows, because that time in the world was a really big turning point.
Yeah.
So talk about that.
No, it was a big turning point in my life too. Personally, it was a time where me and the mother of my children, we actually separated, and going into the season, we weren't sure if there was going to be actual football season. So, just having that withdrawal from football and then the withdrawal of everything else that was happening outside of my life, it caused just a lot of turmoil within my heart and in my mind too. But we ended up having we ended up playing probably like four or five games that year, and then I actually entered the transfer portal after the fourth game, and I didn't end up playing the last two games because I didn't want to get hurt, and I was at the time I wanted to I wanted to go somewhere else. I wanted to be go and play big time Division I football, like out in the SEC or something. And I tested it out, and I ended up actually going back to Utah State, finishing there. But it was a really big moment for me that year. Like, it was definitely an eye opening moment on if I really wanted to make this happen, how I was going to do it.
So at Utah State, you played with Jordan Love. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like playing with Jordan Love when he was at Utah State?
That's my boy. That's my Woody right there. He's a great dude. Great player. All around, and it was amazing. And just seeing him doing his thing now, and actually getting to play against him, this year was amazing. I got to see him pregame and give him a hug, talk to him real quick, and just seeing how we both really made it from there, it's a blessing for sure.
Absolutely. So this past season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you guys finished 9-8. You guys won the wild card game against the Eagles. You lost in the divisional round against the Lions.
Yeah.
At what point in the season did you guys have that feeling where we're going to make the playoffs? Because it's such a up and down season. Just so many moving pieces, right? So like, at what point did you guys say this team could potentially make it the playoffs?
After we started getting on a winning spree, we went on I think 4 games straight. We won, or 5, something like that, and we were just winning them at the back end of the season, and it was just more so we were still always in control of our destiny. We were still either number one in our division, so that's what always gave us hope more than anything. Is as long as you win the division, that's the most important thing. So Coach Bowles, he preached that to us, and all of us as a team, we collectively had that chemistry too. We all, both sides of the ball, we all have a great chemistry as a team. So that allowed us to, get through those games that we needed, to win those big games that we needed to win. So I think that was a big reason for sure.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you guys played the Eagles earlier in the year, and then you guys beat them in the wild card round. What goes into the preparation for the second game around, right? Because the first game, you watch them, you watch the tape and stuff, but the second game comes around and everything is totally different. So, what goes into that?
Really, it's just more so the game plan, understanding what they did to us the first game, and where we can capitalize on that, what we can do to fix those different things against certain coverages, what plays we can do to match up against them. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that went into that game. On
a lighter note, what do you think of the tush push in the NFL? Do you think it should be banned, or do you think it should stay around?
Nah, man, they doing their thing with it. If you can't stop it, you feel me? That's on y'all. We ended up stopping it. Actually, our defense stopped them on the 1 yard or on the goal line. We stopped them. So, it's stoppable. It's just all about how bad they want it,
I remember that. Yeah. So. No, that's a great way to cap that part there. So, but let's talk a little bit about your high school career, right? Because coming from Southwest Florida, you were spectacular at Vero, Dunbar. Talk a little bit about that.
So I went to 3 different high schools. I started at Island Coast my freshman year. I played JV, and I got moved up to varsity. And I wanted to stay there, but the head coach that was there at the time, he ended up leaving and going somewhere else. So, I wanted a new scenery, and things like that, because I like that coach a lot. So, but then me and my boy Corey Marcus, we all came up with the idea of let's go to Bishop. And there was a whole lot of, other things that were going into that and talking about it. So we ended up making that happen and going to Bishop Row for, I was there for 2 seasons, my sophomore, my junior year. Then I ended up transferring to my Dunbar in the spring of my junior year. And, that's where I finished it all off at. So, but it was amazing. And, I love playing. There's so many great athletes from Fort Myers in general and Cape Coral. They're all around in Lee County in general. There's so many great athletes, and getting a chance to play against them and, be a part of that group of people, is great.
Absolutely. Utah State, going back there a little bit. So why did you choose Utah State out of all schools?
I'm only Division I offer for real. I only had 3 offers out of high school. I had Valdosta State, Duquesne University, and then Utah State. So they were the one team, and that's all you can choose one day. At the end of the day, it's one school. At the end of the day, you have all these offers, but only one school. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna make the most of this one opportunity that I have, and that's what I did. And like I said, going there allowed me to do that. I remember going on a visit with my mom, and she was just like, we're standing there looking out the window of a hotel, and she was like, this is where you need to be. Like,
wow.
Just calm. Like, this is a place where you can think, where you can focus, and mind you, I wasn't thinking I knew I was going to have 1 kid, but I didn't think I was going to have 2, so
yeah.
it became a whole much more, but that was definitely the best thing for me, for sure.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I know earlier when you got introduced on the show, you talked about, having 2 children. So what's it like being a dad?
I love it, honestly. It's great for me as a man just because it allows me to understand that, there's more to life than just, my own. Like, I can't always do things for my own benefit, it has to be for my children. So, but it also gives you another purpose. And me being young, sometimes, you don't always think right whenever you're young, but if you have something to remind you of what it is that you're doing, it keeps you out of a lot of different things, for sure.
Absolutely. So being from Southwest Florida, in the off season, I know you go back and forth at times. And how do you give back to the community? Because just being from there.
Yeah. Really, I really want to start doing more. I haven't really been doing enough, but I am doing. I've done a 707 last year. I had a little 707 team I worked with. This year I'm having another 707 team, but we want to do a bunch of different things this year. We want to do a couple of drives and stuff like that. Me and my agent been talking about. So we have a lot of things coming soon for this year.
This is another one I wanted to ask you. Being an NFL player, there's so many ups, there's so many downs, there's so many twists, there's so many turns. But a main part of it is maintaining your body, right? Maintaining that healthy balance, that diet. So what does nutrition look like for you on a daily basis, like during the season and out of season?
I'd say in season is better than out of season for sure because, we have a cafeteria and we have good, cooks and stuff that cook us food. So, but off the season, I ain't gonna lie, I was just eating some Snickers over there, So it's not the best. I've been trying to, me and my girl have been cooking a lot more and stuff like that, trying to work on it because, for me, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but I'm very, toned and things like that, and I'm able to keep, up with myself. So I don't necessarily always do the right things, but I can, I make up for it in other areas.
You like to cook. What's your favorite thing to cook?
Spaghetti. Well, I don't cook. My girl cooks, but my favorite meal is spaghetti.
Spaghetti's your favorite meal?
Yeah.
What's the best meal that they have at the facility that you just love?
When they have seafood, they be making these little crab claws. It's like a whole bunch of little crab claws, small crab, and I be killing them things. I ain't gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, they good.
So recently, you just signed a contract with extension with the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that.
Honestly, I'm happy, because I came in as an undrafted free agent, and that's at the bottom of the bottom when you first come in. So you have to really prove yourself, and anything it has to be earned, to even stay. And then in my situation, I'm probably one of the smallest players in the NFL, So it was more so like it's relieving, it's very satisfying and relieving for me that I've been able to achieve this, but I'm not done, at all. I'm not satisfied at all because there's still so much more that I want to achieve. I feel like I really haven't even scratched the surface of all that I'm meant to be, especially coming out of college. And I led was number 2 in the nation for receiving yards, so I understand all the potential that I truly have within me. I just haven't been able to fully express it yet, but I understand that God has His time, and whenever that time comes for me, I'm gonna take full advantage of it and shine my light.
I'm a strong believer as well, and I think everything happens for a reason, and you're put on the Bucs for a reason. You're from Southwest Florida. I think this is part of your destiny, right?
Yeah.
But it's not where you started; it's where you finish, and that's a huge part of it there. But this season, so what's some things that on your checklist you're like, man, I really want to cross this off. I really want to get this off my list for this upcoming season.
This season, as a goal, that I want to achieve this year?
As a personal goal. I know team goal is important too, but this as a personal goal.
Personal goals, I really want to get that All-Pro, as a returner. That was something I was close to last year that I want to come back for this year, more than anything. So it's my number one thing, and Because the thing with the NFL is, you never know how many times you'll actually get to test the ball. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many different players and balls to go around. You know what I mean? So it's just like whatever I do get, like my biggest thing I always tell myself is any opportunity, like seize that opportunity. So whenever I do get those things, just make the most of them this year. And that's my biggest thing.
So talk about the off season, like right now, because the season just wrapped up in January. So like, how does it go throughout the process? 'Cause I know you have OTAs, you got training camp, you got all that stuff, you get free agency and all that. So like, how does it work for you just on a daily basis?
Yeah, I really, right now, like I enjoy my off season because when you get into the season, it's nothing but football. Every single day for the next 6 months, 7 months, you're just locked in. So, but I really just take it like these times, like just take it day by day. I go to the beach. I enjoy my time with my dogs, my lady. With my kids whenever I get them and stuff. So I just really but before we're about to start OTAs in April, like the voluntary. But I still go to those just because like it's allowing me to get back in my groove, get back in a routine. Get myself back together because that's the biggest thing. Like when you get to the season, every day is like you got to be up there at 7:45, so you got to be up at 6. Get yourself ready, get your body ready, get your mind ready, and everything. So I like to prepare myself, just in advance. But like when the off season hits, I definitely like to let go a little more. I don't always stick to my routine, which is, it could be a good and bad thing. But for me, I feel like it just helps me regather myself, and gives me the opportunity to refocus. And then when I come back, I'm fully ready to go.
How do you find that healthy balance between your personal life and being a professional NFL player?
Really, how I feel, me personally, is like I like to mend it all to one, because like I don't look at it as like being a professional NFL player because it's what I love to do. Like I started playing when I was 7 years old, and even when you knew me in high school, like I loved football very much. Like, that was my everything. So and then my life is my life, and football is a part of my life. So I just like to bring it all together and like not necessarily separate one from the other. Of course, like like being an NFL player, like you're a public figure, so whenever you go places, people are gonna always see you. So you wear your brand even when you're not wearing it. You know what I mean? So I guess I just kind of that's how I look at it. Yeah.
That's a great way to put it there. So you're number 83.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you choose number 83?
I didn't. They gave me it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. if you could pick a number, what would it be? Would it be 85?
Nah. Mike, the greatest receiver, got it. 13 because that's what I had in college. So that would be my number for sure. But I can't. Mike's unmatchable.
What's it like being around Mike Evans?
I love it, man. That's my bro. Like, that's a big bro, for sure. And I got a lot of love for Mike. He's a great man, great dude, great human. He gives a lot, even when he's, you don't know what he's going through. Nobody knows what he's going through, but he's just a great man. And, I'm happy that he got this contract extension, and I get 2 more years with him, or another year with him for me, And I've learned so much from him, just off the field, on the field, just understanding that there's so much more to being just a player. Like like being a human and being a great athlete is way more than just on what you do on the field. So
yeah.
He's been great.
A great way to put it there, because when he was at Texas A&M and now, later in his career being with the Bucs, he's been able to give back to Galveston, Texas, and I've seen a lot of charities that he's been a part of. So, like you said, it's a really nice thing that he's been able to do. But Baker Mayfield just recently signed the contract extension with the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of talk about how that all works as a player, right? For example, because the fans just see on social media, like, oh my gosh, this player signed this massive contract extension. Like, do you guys know beforehand, or like, how does that all work out?
I find out the same time I find out. Yeah, I look on Instagram and see
it. What's it like being around Baker Mayfield? Because he's been on a lot of different teams, right? He's kind of, it feels like he's finally found his home. So what's it like being around Baker?
He's a dog. I love Baker, man. He's a leader. Everything he does, like he has that intensity, and he's a funny dude. He's cool to be around. Like I love Baker for sure. Man.
Yeah, that's a good one there as well. And you got so many interesting things going on, like in during season, off season. You just have so many things going on. So it's awesome to hear all these awesome stories. But another one here for you. What's your craziest football story? High school, college, NFL.
During the game, like just in a game, or just football in general.
Just any football story.
I'd say I made this catch junior year, in 2020, the COVID year, against San Diego State. And it was like a buzzer beater catch. It was like there was like 3 seconds left on the clock going into halftime, and it was a touchdown too. And like the way I caught the ball, it was all the way over my head, but I had both feet in bounds, and I caught it like. It was just the weirdest catch. There's a picture of it. We'll pull up the video and I'll show you for real. But that was my craziest moment because it was like 0 seconds on the clock going into halftime. Like we were down by a touchdown, and I got us that touchdown going and tied us up going into halftime. and like the crowd just went crazy, man. I mean, and it was COVID year, and there wasn't really supposed to be any people there, but that was our first like home game, so
Wow.
there was like it was still kind of packed. I was like, dang, like so that was a cool moment for sure.
Sticking briefly on college football here, we know NIL is now in place. What do you think of NIL for players in today's game?
I think it's great. I think that it's good for college students to get paid for what they do because it's a lot. Like every day you in there, you working every single day, and like even in the spring, like when people don't see, like we working every single day, So I think that it's gonna be great for them, and I wish I was still in college whenever it happened.
What do you think about the whole realignment of college football with the Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC, UCLA and USC going to the Big Ten? So what do you think about the whole realignment? Because now college football is like changed forever.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. Honestly, I don't be personally keeping up with sports too much because I'm not really. Like, I love sports. I love playing football, but I don't really follow it too much. But that is actually really interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, I know. Now with college football, everything's just changed like drastically. I mean,
Wow.
like you said, you have NIL and stuff, so it's just crazy to think about.
Dang, that's crazy, man. I didn't know
What's the
that.
best advice a teammate's ever given you?
Don't allow coaches. Don't allow the way that the structure of this stuff works. You feel me? Like the NFL, for example. Don't allow it to change you as a player or a person. Because it can break you down. The way that the game works and the way that the business works. There's so many factors, things that factor into it, and things that you necessarily can't control. So it kind of makes you sometimes get a little discouraged in a way. You know what I mean? Like from my personal journey and my story. Like I said, I was coming off of having a great senior year. And I had to basically stay on practice squad for 14 weeks. I'm used to always traveling. I'm used to always playing. And, I'm out there practicing every single weekend, not going and playing, not going to the games, not traveling, not even be able to be on the sideline. And I'm watching from home, and it was killing me. Me personally, I was like, dang, this is something I've never experienced. But, I remember I was just sitting there, and I was talking to one of my former teammates, and Jalen Darden, about it. And he was just like, man, you can't let that stuff control you. Don't let it allow it to affect what you're doing, work. You know what I'm saying? The only thing you can do is control how you work out here. And, you take all these practice reps, treat them like they're game reps, don't let it control what you can control and never let it get to your mind. So, and when you'll look up and you'll be where you want to be, you know what I mean? As long as you continue to do that. So that was definitely the best advice.
That's probably one of the best advices I've heard from somebody, just kind of speak freely about that in a long time, because, you ask those questions and you're curious to know, and that's a great way you put it. So Tom Brady played for the Buccaneers. Yeah. What was it like being around Tom Brady?
It was great. I mean, honestly, he's different, but me being young my first year and being with him, it helped me understand, how serious, this game is, to most people. This game is really, something that, people, we love to do. We do this for, since we were young, since I was 7, So seeing somebody who was able to be, I came in, I was 22, and he's been playing for 23 years when I came in. So he's been playing in the NFL at least longer than I've been alive, So the dedication, more than anything, the dedication, the preparation, the way that he even talks about the game, and he's able to break it down, and just all around, I learned so much. And just like I said, I wasn't even a main player or anything like that, but listening to how he would talk to Mike and Chris, and at the time we had Julio last year too, and it was Russell Gage. We had so many different people in that room that were great, that are great receivers, and the way that they all connected and they listened to him was pretty cool. So it was amazing.
What's that wide receiver room what's it like being in there with all the guys?
It was great. We're close. I mean, all of us, we joke all the time. We talk about it, but we get our job done. We do what we need to do, and when we come to work, we really work. Everybody raises each other's our game level, if that makes sense. We raise each other's level while we're out there. Even at practice, we make sure that each of us are always on beat what we're doing and executing at a high level for us. So it's great.
How do you handle the criticism from fans and reporters on a daily basis, because it's not always going to be highs, it's all, right? So how do you deal with that on a daily basis, because everyone has social media and we all see it, right? So how do you deal with that as a player?
Me personally, I don't really try to just pay attention to it's always gonna be, you're always gonna see it, but at the end of the day, we're the ones out there doing what we do. You know what I mean? They can, you can always be an outsider looking in, but at the end of the day, when you're out there doing it and making it happen, it's a lot harder than it looks. You know what I mean? It looks easy, but it's very, very difficult, especially whenever everybody has to, work in sync, as a team. When a team is criticized, there's missing parts. Not everybody's always, not everybody's on the same accord, if that makes sense. So, and that's what makes a great team, is everybody the chemistry has to be there. Everybody has to be locked in, and you have to trust the man next to you. And so that's the biggest thing, is as long as you keep it inside of your facility and your organization on your team, Like, I think that was the biggest thing because we had to deal with a lot of that this year, you know, coming in. Like, people didn't think we were still going to be as good because we lost Tom, you know, and all these different things. And then we started off hot, you know, came out 3-0. Then we went on a mean losing streak, you know, and everybody was trash talking, like all of us as a team, you know, and especially Baker, you know, and like the way he dealt with the criticism is somebody, especially, you know, he doesn't let it get to him. He just keeps on playing, you know, and he's a dog. He's gonna keep fighting, and then, you know, we look up and we're at the end of the season. We're getting ready to play the Eagles on Monday night, you know, so yeah, that's the biggest thing for sure.
Great way to put it there. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so much going on during the season. There's just a lot, and it's just so much to like take in. So for you, right? So football is a huge part of your life, but what do you like to do in your free time?
I love the beach. You know, that's my biggest thing, and you know, like that's where I've been spending most of my time at lately. And I just like to spend time with like I said, I'm a family man. I love my dogs. I love my lady. I love my kids. So that's really what I do in my free time, man. I just spend it with them.
Talk about a day in the life of Deven Thompkins.
Ooh, Lord.
Whichever one you want.
All right, we'll do the off season because we're in the off season. So really, wake up every day. Like I've really been waking up at like 4:30. I wake up. I got my little puppy over there, my baby Ken Corso and Nova, and then my big boy. I take them out, take them on a little walk. We go around the block, come back home. Me and my lady will make some breakfast. You know, probably make some eggs, an egg sandwich or something. Then depending on how we're feeling throughout the day, like by the time like around 10:30, 11 o'clock, if we want to go to the beach, like we'll go to the beach. Like today, we went to the beach around. You know, we got there like 12:31. Stay there till about 5, and that's really what we do. Like, I mean, if I'm out at the beach, lately I've been hitting the field because I just started working out again. So I've been hitting the field like in the mornings and in the afternoons too. So, I mean, really, it's just all around the way how I feel. And then I don't have my kids at the moment, so I really have a lot more free time than usual. Usually when I have my kids, I'm always, you know, we're going somewhere, we're going to do something, you know. They're always running around with me. So, but right now, just chilling, man. I get to do what I want to do.
Nice decompression.
Oh, yeah, man. Before this, you know, gets serious again.
Yeah. Living in Tampa, what's some of your favorite food spots?
Food spots? Man. Where we? Oh, I ain't gonna lie, I've been liking Dio a lot. Dio Mediterranean.
Yeah.
It's been smooth. I like Dio, and I like the Pearl. Those are my two spots. Right?
What's your go-to order from Dio? Is Dio Mediterranean?
Yeah, Dio's Mediterranean. The kebabs, yeah, the chicken kebabs,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the Pearl, I just like getting the appetizers. I get the little shrimp they got for.
You currently binging any Netflix shows or any streaming shows right
Actually, I like BMF. That's been my show. Black Mafia Family. I've been watching that, and then yeah, that's been the only show I've been locked in on.
Yeah, that's a good one there.
Yeah, I just finished all my anime shows for us, so been trying to wait for a new anime to catch my attention.
There's so many shows out right now; it's hard to keep up.
Yeah,
it's insane how many shows are out. It's just like it's insane to keep up with.
Yeah, and I'm not really a show man too much too. Like I'm more of a movie guy than a show guy for sure.
What movies you been watching lately?
I got on Bloodshot right now. I don't know if you've seen it before, but it's pretty good.
No, yeah, I haven't seen that one.
But no, I'm an action movie guy for real more than anything. So,
name your favorite action movie of all time.
Bad Boys, all of them, 1, 2, and 3.
Bad Boys. That's what's
Will Smith
and
Martin.
And yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, Bad Boys.
That's a good
one. If you could switch players, if you could switch positions from receiver to another position, what would it be?
Safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why safety?
Because you free back there. Like a free safety, you free back there to make the play how you want to. You can pick it off. You know, you can play over the top. You know, like you can come fill it down, fill the gaps and tackle. You know, so but you have a lot more free back there. You're a free player. You know.
You played a little bit of corner in high school.
Yeah. Corner and safety.
Corner and safety. I remember that. Yeah. What do you think of a player like Travis Hunter because he plays receiver and corner? Mm-hmm. Do you think he'll be able to play receiver and corner in the NFL?
You got to pick one.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. You can't really. That's what they pay people for, like for certain positions. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know how it would work. It would be actually pretty cool if they were able to do that. But, you know, from what I've seen so far, you got to pick one.
What do you think the most important skill for a receiver to have, like quality-wise?
I mean, obviously catching the ball. But being able to separate, other than catching the ball, is being able to create separation for it. Because if you can't create separation, the ball will never come to you. You know, the quarterback will never throw it to you if you can't, get off a press or you can't, like, separate out the top of your route from a DB. So as long as you got that separation, you always get, and you can get open, you get the ball.
Who are your top 5 receivers in the NFL?
Big Mike for sure, number 1. Vontae Adams, Tyreek. I like Stephon. Stephon Smooth. and Justin Jefferson. Yeah,
I was going to say, you got to say Justin Jefferson
one,
there.
for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, no Jamar Chase.
He a dog too, though, for sure. He a dog too. Just those are my favorite. I mean, I looked up to most of them boys, like with Mike and Devontae Adams. Devontae more than anybody, like his feet crazy. Route game is crazy. Once you see the way they run routes and how they separate off the line, like I said, like getting off the line of scrimmage is the biggest thing in the NFL. Like if you can't get off the line, you're dead. But most and there's not really too many DBs that are really good at pressing, but the ones that are, like you got to really come with it.
Somebody like Tyreek Hill, for example,
Yeah.
you named your top 5. What do you think makes Tyreek Hill so special? Because he's so undersized as a receiver. Of course, his speed, right? But there's so many different nuances to Tyreek Hill. What do you think makes him so special?
Yeah, he's tough. Like he's fast. He has all those attributes. He's athletically gifted, and then the fact that he's tough on top of that makes it even more difficult. Because somebody that has all those things and still has the grit and the ability to play like that, that's a hard player to stop.
If you could go one-on-one with any other NFL player, corner mainly, who would it be?
I don't know. I could take anybody. Yeah. Give me whoever you want. I got him.
I like that one. That's a good answer there. Well, I mean, I really think that does it for us. But before we always wrap up, we have our 5 questions. So
Sure.
my first question for you is, if you could tell your 18-year-old self one thing, what would it be?
Ooh. Stay down. Everything you want is going to come to you.
If you weren't playing football, what would you be doing?
I'd be traveling the world, and I'd be an archaeologist.
What's your most embarrassing story, non-football related?
Dang. Let's see. Let's think. Hold on. Ooh. I mean, there was a situation back when I was in college. It was after a football game, and it got like 2 girls got into it, and it wasn't the prettiest thing for real. No, that was embarrassing for sure. That was probably the most embarrassing thing that happened to me.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years?
Yeah.
5 years, I'll be 29. Still in NFL. I'm not 2 more kids. Married to the new lady I'm with, and thriving, living the life I want to live.
What's your favorite funny story to tell people?
Favorite funny story? Oh man. I don't really have a go-to, but I don't know, because some of them are inappropriate. So
all right, PG rated or PG-13 rated.
I'd say, easy. Yeah, back when we were younger, freaking my boy Corey and Marcus, I got caught sneaking into, we snuck out of my boy Marcus's house one night, and his mom caught us, but she locked the doors on us. So then I had to climb up on top of his roof, and he lived in a 2-story house. So I climbed up onto the first story, and then to get into the 2nd-story window. As I'm climbing in, his dog started barking, and his mom walked in the room that I was halfway in. I'm halfway in and halfway out of it. She's watching me sneaking back into the house. I'm just sitting there looking at her like, damn, I don't even got caught, So that was probably the funniest one that happened to me. Yeah.
Last one here. 2 more, actually. What's your go-to pregame song?
Ooh. I guess I wouldn't have one specific song, but if I did have a song, it'd probably be Finally Rich by Chief Keef.
And what kind of advice would you give to a young athlete who's aspiring to be in the NFL?
Don't give up. Just chase your dream, man. Anything you want is really possible as long as you continue to, make it happen and keep God first. That's the only way you're going to make it happen is keeping God first. That's my biggest testament to everything. I went through a lot of different things, in college, just my life changing a lot, going from being married to being separated to now, just going through a lot, being divorced now. And, through all that, I didn't know, you don't know what's going to happen. And I'm still trying to make it to the NFL. I have 2 kids. I'm young. One of my son has Down syndrome. So, there was a lot of things thrown at me. And, I'm only 24, so I had to be able to manage all of that stuff just in a matter of 5 years, because my daughter, she's 5. And all that happened, within 5 years. And, there's moments where I was so low where I couldn't even pick myself up. But, I understood that you know, like even going even going to the games, I would get into arguments the day of the game, you know, like that would cause me to like, you completely would lose focus, but I would come in and I would have a great game, you know, but it was all because like I would sit there, I would meditate and pray, you know, like, cause I believe meditation is listening to God and praying is asking God, you know, like you talk to him. So, yeah, like that's been the biggest thing. Keep God first, man.
It's a great way to end it there. But before we do officially wrap up, you got to plug your socials. You got to let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Grandmaster DT, Twitter, Instagram. That's me, Grandmaster DT.
Well, guys, it was a pleasure, as always, to record for you guys. We had a very special guest on tonight's show, the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast, episode 101. You can find the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Deven Thompkins, it was a pleasure to have you on the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. We wish you nothing but the best in your career, and it's only up from here, man. Just keep pushing, stay true to yourself, and just remember, everything happens for a reason.
Sure. Appreciate you, Joey, for having me, man. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.